Hello and welcome to today's Data Bank Coffee Break. We will be talking about service requests and entering volunteer hours. So the first thing you want to do when you get logged in is search for the participant who is receiving the service. You can do that by going up to this quick find search bar up at the top, or you can go to search in the main menu and then easy query. And then you'll have some different search criteria that you can use if you're having trouble finding somebody with the quick find. So I am going to search for my participant here. You can see that when I type in the first few letters of her name, she shows up in this drop down here. So I'm going to click on her. And then from your contacts main page, you are going to click on the service tab. And here you can see all of the services that Chanel has either received as a participant or provided as a volunteer. You can see all of the details about that. This page is automatically sorted newest to oldest by date. You can also use these arrows to sort by different criteria if you'd like. But for now, we are going to create a new service. And for that, we want to click on this plus sign over here. And then you'll be brought to this page where you can fill in all of your service details. So you want to start with the status. And you can select requested, pending, confirmed, fulfilled, or canceled. If you are just getting this request in, you'll probably want to do requested or pending, depending on if you've got a volunteer in mind. And once your volunteer is set and the service is ready to go, you can change that to confirmed, fulfilled when it's been completed, and canceled if someone needs to cancel. So for this, I'm actually just going to put in requested because I just got the phone call from Chanel that she needs a ride. So I am going to go to service date, and you can either type in a date here, or you can click on this calendar and select a date here. The person served will automatically populate with the name of the account that you are in right now. Volunteer staff name will give you a drop-down of everyone in your system who's marked as a volunteer. And then service category and service type. I am going to select assisted transportation and rides. And once I do that, you can see that the service type filters to just the service types that are under that category. So I'm going to select non-medical transportation for this one. And I'm just noting that I left that volunteer drop down blank because I don't have my volunteer set yet, and we are going to come back later and update that. For service location, we've got several options. I'm going to pick ride. I can also indicate if the service is funded through Title III or Special Access. I can enter in any additional information under the description, so things like particular preferences of the participant, details about an appointment or a pickup location, or any other information that might be relevant and important. You can also come back here and enter in information in the description after the service has been completed if the volunteer has any notes that are important to capture. Now this section down here, you may want to come back and complete once the service is done, but you can track your volunteer hours right here. You can also enter units and unit type, and these are based on Title III definitions. So in this case, it would be one-way trips, and it would be 2 units because it's a round-trip service. You can also enter in your volunteer mileage or upload any documents that might be relevant to the service as well. Things like forms or diagrams or notes. At the bottom here, you have some additional ride details. Obviously, this is only relevant for transportation, but you can indicate if the ride has multiple destinations, a pickup or end point for the ride, any relevant times, and whether or not they need a wheelchair lift. Once all this information is complete, click on Submit to save. And you can now see that that service is showing up at the top here under Chanel's Service tab. If I need to go back in and edit this for any reason, I can click on this edit button here right next to the service. I'm going to do that, and I'm going to go in and assign a volunteer because now I know who it's going to be. Dolly Parton. We all know how giving she is, so that only makes sense. And then I'm going to change the status to confirmed because Dolly has confirmed with us. And then I am going to click the submit button either up here at the top or at the bottom to save. And now you can see that Dolly Parton shows up under this volunteer staff name column. And if you click on her name, it will take you to her service page. So this service is also going to show up under the volunteers service tab. And you'll only be able to tell kind of who's who by looking at this column here. And you can sort of click back and forth between your person served or your volunteer if you need to reference any additional information. One thing that I want to point out is that the system may look a little bit different than what you're used to for entering volunteer hours. In order to enter your volunteer hours, the service needs to have been created and assigned to a participant. So they are completely linked. The volunteer hours are a part of that service. So there's no way to enter them separately. And that just might look a little bit differently than what you're used to. The other thing I wanted to point out that's super important is that this process is really designed for individual one-on-one services. For group services or events, you're going to want to create a meeting and register your participants for that meeting. And there are separate videos outlining how to do this. I just wanted to make sure that you are aware that anytime you're providing services for multiple people, you want to check and see if creating a meeting is your best bet. All right, that is all. Feel free to reach out if you have any questions. Thanks so much.